Welcome back to the Rise and Grind workshop. If you're new here, my name is Ryan, and this right here is our brand new One Laser Hydra 9. This is a dual tube laser housed inside of one laser unit. This little anodized card right here is your reverse compensation settings or your scanning offset settings. Every single laser engraver from the One Laser factory will have a reverse compensation card included with it. This was located inside of my yellow toolbox. You will need to make sure you have this information to proceed with the video. I have found a tremendous amount of people have no idea what this card is used for, and they've been extremely happy with the performance of their laser engraver, and they absolutely had no idea that that laser engraver was not optimized. So today, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of not only how to input your scan offsets for the desktop models, but this Hydra is a dual tube laser housed inside of one unit. And here's the kicker. This unit only features one set of mirrors. Some of the other more expensive lasers on the market that feature a dual tube setup feature two sets of mirrors. That's why on the Hydra line of laser engravers, you'll notice this reverse compensation card has two settings, one for the CO2 laser tube and one for the RF tube as well. So if you have a basic understanding of scanning offsets and you've put those numbers into the Lightburn software, it's a pretty straightforward process. However, I mentioned something earlier that's very innovative on the One Laser Hydra series, and that is having two laser tubes with one set of mirrors. One advantage of having two sets of mirrors, each set can have its own value of scanning offsets inputted. However, when I went to input my scanning offsets into the Lightburn software, this is where I realized a lot of you will run into an issue. So today I'm going to walk you through that entire process, explain to you how this One Laser engraver works, having two tubes and only one set of mirrors. It's a very easy process. Go ahead and open Lightburn, confirm you have the correct laser selected. We have the Hydra 9. Next, this is extremely important. You'll notice the numbers on the reverse compensation card are in millimeters. Go right up here to this little arrow icon, click that once. Depending on the version you have, you might have the option to go to millimeters right there. For my version, I'm going to come right over here, convert that to millimeters. You want to always adjust your scan offsets in millimeters, not imperial units. Next, go up to Edit, scroll down to your device settings. You'll notice a toggle switch that says Enable Laser to Controls. This is a dual laser. You will need to make sure this is green and enabled. Right now, One Laser offers two different models. The X Series is a professional desktop series with a working area of 12 by 24. You can purchase that unit in either a 55 watt CO2 glass tube, or you can upgrade and get a 30 watt RF tube. If you have purchased one of those units, you will only have one tube, and this portion of the scanning offsets will be for you, so pay attention. If you're in the Hydra market, or you've already purchased a Hydra, we will cover those scanning offsets immediately following this. If this is your first time setting up your scanning offsets, this area will most likely be completely empty. Go ahead and click Enable Scanning Offset Adjustment, and you're going to scroll down to here where it says Add. Click that one time. That is going to bring up another menu that has speed, line shift, and initial offset. We are only going to focus on speed and line shift. Do not touch your initial offset for this video. So for a single tube, one laser setup, it doesn't matter whether you have a RF or glass tube. Your card might look something like this and only have one set of numbers. Since we have the Hydra, we have two sets of numbers. For this example, we're going to pretend you purchased an X series model with an RF laser tube. Once you click Add, your speed will read 0. You will simply look at your card, and the first number we have on our card is 400. Over on the far right side, it says RF tube. The first setting for 400 is 0.560. So you would simply input 400 in your speed, confirming you're in millimeters again. Then for your line shift, you would put 0.560. You would go ahead and hit OK, and that would add that to your scanning offsets. You would then come back to the add icon, and you would simply repeat the process for all the numbers you see. Once again, if you have a glass tube, you would follow the glass tube settings. If you have a RF tube, you would follow the RF tube settings. Now let's show you how you would set it up for the Hydra, which has two laser tubes, and you might have already figured this out. We only have one input for scanning offsets, but we have two numbers. How do we get around that? Now let's go ahead and convert you from an amateur hobby level laser engraver to a professional. The Hydra 9 with its 38 watt RF tube features the capability to raster engrave all the way up to 1200 millimeters a second. When you're researching laser engravers, that is called your rapid speed. Every laser engraver will have that specification. Some of the lower end units can only raster all the way up to 600 speeds, and some of the middle of the road units can go all the way up to 1000. An RF tube operates off a radio frequency, and a 38 watt RF tube is about equivalent to a 60 watt CO2 laser tube. The benefit of the RF tube, it fires a much finer, more detailed laser beam. Couple that with some high-speed motors like the One Laser engraver, and you have one of the fastest raster engraving laser engravers on the market. If you watched our ultimate unboxing or setup video, I talked a little bit about the RF tube. Those are encased in a nice metal housing. They are not a glass laser tube. They have a much longer service life. They are going to cost more, so that is a premium upgrade. However, you can also completely rebuild an RF laser tube. They are superior in almost every single way. However, there are a few drawbacks. That is why One Laser has come out with this brand new Hydra series that also includes this 100 watt CO2 glass laser tube. If you know anything about vector cutting, a CO2 glass laser tube is far superior when it comes to brute force and power. If you've spent a lot of time in a laser engraving workshop, or you've expanded your horizons and your products, you're going to start to realize there's a wide variety of lasers you need to keep inside of your workshop, and you're going to start running out of room, and that pocketbook is going to get empty really fast. So with that dissertation of information, let me explain to you the main premise and idea behind purchasing the Hydra unit. You're going to have the benefit of that RF tube, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the RF tube scanning offsets, and we're going to input those into Lightburn. The reason for that, 99% of the time we are raster engraving. We want to run this laser as fast as possible and as accurate as possible. So we're going to be doing a raster engraving with laser tube number 2, which is the RF tube. So inside of our Lightburn software, we are going to make sure that laser number 2 has the RF settings. Laser number 1 will not have any scanning offsets. Laser number 1 is going to be the CO2 glass laser tube. Now remember what I said, we're going to use this machine and optimize that glass laser tube for all of our vector cutting. Those scanning offsets will be irrelevant. Now here's the best part about that. Let's say I encounter a specialized job and I want to use my CO2 laser, but I have my engraving set up for my raster. I can jump right back inside my device settings. I'm going to locate my CO2 laser tube reverse compensation card. I'm going to go to laser 1, and I would simply input the CO2 laser tube reverse compensation settings, and my CO2 laser tube would now be optimized as well. Now, depending on the product you make, a lot of people are under the impression an RF tube struggles with vector cutting. It is true they do not cut as clean and precise as a CO2 laser tube. However, you need to assess the product that you're using. For me, something like Leatherette or Baltic Birch, I really don't even need to jump over to that CO2 laser tube, and I can strictly use the RF tube for that application. So jumping back into Lightburn after that explanation, this probably makes more sense. As of right now, we have laser number 2 enabled. That's my RF tube, and I have my RF tube scanning offsets inputted. We were always doing rastering on that laser engraver. Once you're satisfied, go ahead and click OK. So at this point, some of you might be asking, that's fantastic, Ryan, but what are scanning offsets? There are already a couple YouTube videos out there, and I myself took a deep dive and learned a lot about those scanning offsets. For my video, I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version. I come from a CNC machinery background. The reverse compensation is basically compensating for variances in this machine, like your belt tension, wear and tear on the machine. Over time, those components are going to start to wear out. When you're pushing these machines back and forth really fast, there's a start and stop point, and there's things called acceleration. Depending on the type of laser engraver you have, this particular unit is a high performance unit that has a 30,000 or 3G acceleration. That's a lot of force starting and stopping. You basically want your start and stop endpoints to line up. If they're mismatched, you're going to get a blurry edge. At the end of the day, that reverse compensation is basically compensating for all of those errors within that machine, and you want those lines to line up perfectly straight. That's how you're going to get a nice crisp edge. Now that you know what your scanning offsets are and you have them properly inputted into the machine, this is a material you will most likely run into. This is a premium leatherette, and this is manufactured by the leader in the industry, and this is from a company called Lone Star Adhesive. And you'll notice I have a couple different colors right here on top of this One Laser. This just happens to be one of my personal favorite, and this is the Heritage Collection. This is a faux leatherette with adhesive on the back, and it's a thermal or hot melting adhesive. And we're going to show you how this works a little bit later on our hat press. But this right here is just going to show you the wide variety of options available at Lone Star Adhesives. And once again, Lone Star is being extremely generous and trying to help you guys scale your business and get into the leatherette game. We'll have a link down below in the description where you guys can save a little bit of money and go check out the Lone Star website. One of the really neat things about leatherette, it comes in a wide variety of colors and textures. It's also extremely affordable, and it's one of the hottest things on the market right now, so you will most likely encounter this. And this right here will test your scanning offsets. We're going to go ahead and get some of this leatherette inside of this laser engraver, and we're going to make a One Laser engraver hat patch, and I'm going to show you how crisp this Hydra 9 and that RF tube works on this Lone Star leatherette.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
So that right there was a full demonstration on how the brand new One Laser Hydra series of dual laser tubes work. We took that Lone Star leatherette, went ahead and utilized the RF tube for that incredible detail, and then immediately jumped over to the CO2 laser tube and did our final vector cut, and that was all controlled in the software. We didn't have to do any of that. We are back inside Lightburn so I can show you how you will control both those laser tubes with your settings. You'll notice my black layer is set to fill. We're going to do our raster engraving. The RF tube is what we do our raster engraving on. So we have laser number 2 enabled, indicated by that green light. We're doing a speed of 800 millimeters. Our power is 35 for the minimum and maximum, and we're doing 325 LPI, and we do have our air assist on, as this all new Hydra 9 lets you completely turn the air off with the external air pump included. Now for the vector cut, we're going to double click on our blue layer, which is the line, and you will now notice that the laser number 1 is enabled by that green. We're going to cut at 300 millimeters, and our minimum and maximum power is 50. That is our CO2 laser tube. If we wanted to vector cut on laser number 2 and not even utilize the CO2 laser, we would enable laser 2 and put the appropriate settings for a vector cut with the RF tube. So I've been laser engraving for over 20 plus years, and a majority of that time was spent in a commercial high production environment, knocking out architectural signage. It was really pretty boring, and I didn't even appreciate the knowledge that I accumulated at that time. This is probably the coolest laser engraver I've had the opportunity to work with to this date. If you guys aren't subscribed to my channel, now might be a fantastic time to make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. I am cranking out content right now. We're trying to hit 1 video a week, and the majority of this new content is going to be focused on this Hydra series. Please drop a comment below and tell me what you guys would like to see reviewed on this laser engraver. I'm making this content for you guys. And right now, One Laser has the best price on this laser engraver, and I'm telling you, once this price goes away, you're not going to be able to pick up a laser engraver. You guys know I've worked with a bunch of different brands, and this price point falls right in the middle. and it is packed with features that are found on some much more expensive laser engravers. I personally love the innovation they've combined into this laser engraver. I now truly understand the name One Laser for all. And another thing I would mention, make sure you follow all my social media pages. As of right now, they can't offer any discounts, but if you do get any value out of my video series, make sure you talk to them and mention Rise and Grind, or during the checkout process, if you want to give me some credit, use the code Rise and Grind. And the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any flash sales or promotions when they do offer discounts is to make sure you're following all of my social media. I will have all of that information linked down below. So once again, big thank you to the One Laser team for sending out this brand new One Laser Hydra 9. I've been so impressed with this machine. I can't wait to share all this new content with you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.